Good morning, everybody, from lovely sunny Listowel again. Lovely morning here again. This morning I'm going to run through a few herbs, okay? I'm not by any means an expert on herbs, but I can certainly tell you how to grow them, where to grow them, and what herbs grow every year and what ones you have to plant annually, okay? So to start off with, here we have thyme. Okay, all of the herbs are beneficial, even if you just rub them and smell them. Okay, if you never use them at all, they're very beneficial in that way. We must remember, lads, that herbs were the first medicine. Okay, very, very important. Before there was actual, I suppose what is now artificial medicine, herbs were our medicine. Okay, so here we have thyme. Grows every year. Rosemary grows every year. All of these can be planted in the garden. You never again have to worry about them, you know. Chives, plentiful, grow and have a lovely flower. They're very decorative as well, even if you never use them, okay? So chives, we have lavender, okay? Most of these are culinary herbs, but lavender really wouldn't be very much a culinary herb. We have coriander, sage. Sage is a garden herb that grows every year as well, okay? And we have parsley, okay? So there's other herbs now that would be available later in the season but wouldn't be out yet. The likes of tarragon, fennel. I don't have mint at the moment. I would normally have it. They'd be lemon balm. A lot of these herbs I mentioned would be suitable for cocktails out in the garden this summer. Maybe it might be a great idea. So a lot of these herbs would be used for garnishes, okay? In particular, chives and parsley, okay? Rosemary is often, a sprig of rosemary is often put on your meat, chicken, roast potatoes, that kind of thing. And what you call it, like parsley now, for instance, you would be growing that every year, okay? Or keeping it inside on the kitchen window where it will grow year round, okay? So, like parsley, and you would chop it, just take off sprigs of it as you need it and use it in the kitchen, okay? No secret to it, and you know, if you're passing by it, chew it, you know. The best way to use any of these plants is fresh, okay? So, parsley, for instance, would last about 2 weeks, cut fresh in the fridge. Dried, it would last about 2 years. So you can see where the benefit is in a fresh plant, okay? So parsley you would plant it generally every year unless you're keeping it inside, okay? And chives, you know, it's one of the ones that's used more culinary, okay? So that would be used all the time. And again, just pick off or chop off what you need. All herbs take cutting back regularly very, very well, okay? So you can chop and hack away and use them, and it actually benefits the plant, okay? Right, sage goes into a little shrub in the garden as well, okay? So most of these, like chefs and stuff, I suppose they'd be, you know, into the particular flavours and stuff like that. But if, you know, if you're not an expert on it, you can chop them all up and throw them into casseroles, soups, salads. You know, like basil there, for instance. Basil is hard to grow in Ireland. You generally have to grow it inside, okay? But like basil on a pizza is fabulous. Basil in salads, brilliant. You know, and basil you have to grow it every year, fresh plants. Okay? So, parsley, flatleaf, yeah, I have a kind of general run through there. Lavender, I just wanted to say about it not being a typical culinary herb, but a fantastic herb for relaxation. Okay, so you should always be smelling it. You know, even when you smell it and breathe in deeply, you actually feel more relaxed. You know, people use it, rub it on their pillow at night. You get all these sorts of sprays, but you can do the very same with your plant. Some people try, if they have a sunny bedroom, they have a lavender plant in it. Absolutely fantastic. Grows hardy, it's hardy outdoors as well, but you can grow it inside for that reason. Okay, so what I was going to do there is I was going to plant a little window box to show you what you can do if you want to have a window box outside your kitchen window or on the patio, maybe where you're barbecuing or something like that. Okay, so we have a window box here, just filled with nice fresh compost. All right. I would be overplanting this window box, okay, these plants will not stay in it permanently because I'm putting too many in, okay, but just for the season, if you want to be using it outdoors. Okay, so in the middle I'm going to plant a rosemary. Again, you know, when this goes out of the box, you can plant it in the garden or into a bigger pot. Okay, so we dig a nice little hole, press the plant in, do not be kind or gentle. We need to get the plant in direct contact with the compost and fermenting well. Okay, so at this end I'm going to put in the thyme. Thyme is a low plant, spreads out. You can even grow a thyme lawn. It takes hacking back and cutting back extremely well. Okay? So nice press in, good and firm. Pressing the compost all around it. Okay? And this end here I will put chives. I'll keep it to the back corner. Okay, so a big pot of chives. We'll say just an example here now. With this plant, you can actually pull that apart in half and use 2 halves. Chop it out and you can plant it in 2 places, okay? Because you're getting such a big plant. Okay? So that's the chives planted in there. Now I'm not going to put in the parsley because it's too big, but you could put a small parsley in here. At the moment I'm going to put in the sage. Okay? And like I said, the more you cut the plants and use them, the better they'll grow anyway. Okay, so that's the sage. And this is coriander. Coriander and carrot soup. You taste it. Coriander is used as a very common garnish. Extremely healthy for a bit of information actually on a few of the herbs, you know. Sage, like I said, about the medicinal purposes. Sage for colds and flus, sore throat, a natural antihistamine and anti-inflammatory. Great for your hair. Coriander here, a great detox. You know everyone going around with those fancy bottles now. Put a bit of coriander into it with your water for detox, heart disease, basil. Gets rid of warts. It's an interesting one. I've used it myself. Good for blood circulation, colds and flus. Chives is full of vitamins, okay, and good for bone density. Rosemary, anti-inflammatory and good for your immune system, especially at the moment with the COVID. So there are just a few facts about it. This is the window box, ready to go. Water it, don't let it dry out, and it will serve you well for the whole lot of the season for fresh herbs for your garden. And plant the herbs that you will use, okay? So that's the thing. You know, there's no point in coming in and buying one of every herb that we have, you know, unless you're going to use it, okay? So, hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to run through the questions that we got for this week, okay? Have I anything on herbs themselves? I don't. Oh, I do. What herbs can I plant in my garden that will grow every year? Christina. Okay, so Christina, I kind of covered this earlier. So there's herbs that grow every year, and there's the ones you have to plant annually, okay? So thyme, rosemary, chives, sage, lavender, fennel is another one that grows every year. And generally, the majority of the rest of them kind of have to be sown annually. Basil, parsley, tarragon and stuff like that, they would have to be grown every year, okay? Now, what's the best variety of tomato to grow in a small space, Mike? Okay, Mike, we have, behind us here, we have the tomatoes and all the vegetable plants, and probably one of the best varieties there would be Gardener's Delight. Okay, so it's a small cherry tomato, very reliable, very easy to grow. Okay, for a small space. Super sweet or sweet aperitif is another two. Okay, so here then we have what vegetables we have in stock at the moment. Tomato plants, courgette, cucumber, asparagus, French beans, peas, broad beans, pumpkins, sweet corn, mange tout, beetroot, herbs, and a few broad beans. With lovely tomato baskets as well, $9.99. Okay, so I just wanted to come back here. This is the first time in a long time that I've had a family apple tree. Okay, so I got them in yesterday. I have limited stock on them, but if you plant this tree, you only need one apple tree. Okay, so there's 2 varieties on the one tree. The Golden Delicious and Cox's Orange Pippin. So there's 2 branches, the one tree, the two grafts are put onto one branch, okay? And they're a fabulous idea, especially if you have limited space, okay? One last thing I'm going to show you, lads, and I have another question or two as well, is, right, okay, question, are blueberry trees difficult to grow? Not difficult to grow, but they like a sunny spot, and they prefer acid soil, so they don't like lime in the soil. Do you have to have cherry trees? Do you have cherry trees? And when is the best time to plant them? Maureen Greening. Maureen, we have cherry trees at the moment, only a few. You can plant them now and they're grows in a pot, can be planted straight away. So maybe ring in if you want it. Okay, good one. Okay? Here, guys, I'm very excited about this plant. I'll have to show it. Okay? Excellent. Okay? I've had them a couple of years ago, and I just got them in this morning. They're absolutely adorable. Not fully hardy in Ireland, lads, okay? So you have to protect it in the winter. But these go into monsters of plants and just tower over. What a tropical feel, lads, when we can't get out to Spain this year. Stunning. Flowers through the summer. Okay? And just the last one there is the Easter lily. Didn't have it quite in time for Easter, lads. I suppose they were in everybody's nan's garden at one stage. Absolutely stunning, Santagisha, Asia, ready to go in flower. Hardly in everybody's garden in Ireland, you know. Okay, so that's it for this morning, lads. I hope you enjoyed it, and sure, send down any questions you might have. Alright?